Good day. I'm Teresa Frederick from Growing Businesses Using Projects, and I'm bringing you another video, this time on MS Project 2016, how to start a project plan, and we are going to start it properly. My aim with these videos is to make project management easy so that the ordinary man could easily understand and apply it. So what are we going to look at in this video? We're going to be looking at how to create a new plan and set its start date. We're going to be looking at how to create a project calendar and make it the calendar for the project. And you may ask, well, why having started the plan? Why are we going to the calendar so quickly? So let me just talk a little bit about project's calendar. Project has three base calendars. There's the 24-hour, which has no non-working time. What are we talking about when we say non-working time? Like Saturday and Sunday, most people don't work. So that you don't want the calendar, the software to be scheduling work on these days. So when we talk about non-working time, is as it implies you're not working. Then you have the night shift, which covers a graveyard shift schedule of Monday night through Saturday morning, 11 p.m. to 8 a.m. with a 1 hour break. And then you have the standard calendar, which is the traditional working day, Monday through Friday, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. with a 1 hour lunch. This is the default calendar. And what we don't want to do is, for instance, if we have 4 projects, we don't want to adjust the project times in the default calendar. So what we will do is make a copy. It's like how when you're using templates, you don't try to put the information in the template. You make a copy of the template and you modify that. Later we will look at resource calendars which override the standard calendar. Resource calendars are for people, or so we can also set it up for non-people resources. Okay, but we'll deal with that later on. So what adjustments are we making? So we can make business days and standard working hours. For instance, we may be happy with the Monday to Friday working, but we may not be happy with the time. So we want to change the time. We could make exceptions. You have national and corporate days, or you may have a day when nobody is working on the project, so you don't want to schedule work on that day. So you make an adjustment, and you have alternate weeks. The standard calendar, Monday to Friday. Suppose your work week is Monday to Thursday, so you make these adjustments. So this is why, and what we want to do is to create the project calendar early, so that the adjustments we make go on the project calendar. So let's go to the software. We open the software and we are seeing an area where you have recent projects. You have an area where you have a blank project. You have other templates. You also have where you can use Excel workbooks, new from Excel workbooks, or you can use one of the other templates. But we are going on the blank project. And one of the first things we are going to be doing is we're going to go up to here and we are going to look at project information. Project, and we are clicking on project and we are going to open a dialog called project information. And when we open that dialog box, one of the first things we're going to do is put a start date for our project. So it's written here 4th of February because I'm doing this video then. It normally gives the dates you open, but I don't want to start on 4th. So you click here and we're starting on the 6th. So we now have a start date for our project. You click OK and we have a start date. So what the next thing we can do is to file. We could go on file, save it, and we are going to save our new project. I am saving it in a folder I have on my desktop, and I'm calling it James Project. So far what we have done, we have opened it, we have given it a name, we have saved it, and we have given it a start date. But we want to create a calendar before we do any adjustments. So again, we on project, you have project information, you have WBS, you have change working time. So you click on change working time. And you remember we talked about the calendars. Look at the 4 calendars, the standard calendar. As I told you, that's the default calendar. We click on that and you will see the other calendars, the 24 hours and the night shift. But we don't want to modify the standard. So we go across here where you see create new calendar, and we're going to create a new calendar for this project. A dialog box comes up. It says, do we want to create a base? What we want to do is make a copy, but we're not copying the night shift or the 24 hours, we're copying the standard. And we're going to give it a name. So we can call it James Calendar or James Project Calendar. Now, if you look on top, you would realize the 4 calendar is the standard calendar. But when we create this new calendar, it becomes the 4 calendar. It means that this is the calendar for the project, but not yet. We have to click OK, and we have to make it the calendar for the project by going back into project information. If you notice, project information, the dialog box has the standard calendar as the calendar for the project. But you click here and you find your new calendar, James Calendar, and you click on it, and it's now if you are making it the calendar for the project. Before we go on, I want to talk to you a little bit about scheduling. You could schedule from the start date, which is from Monday the 6th onwards, to find out when the project will end, or you can schedule from the finish date, and then you have to have what the finish date is. Why would you want to schedule from the finish date? If you have a deadline and you're trying to see, can I meet that deadline? You can try to schedule from the finish date. But the norm is that you schedule from the start date. It's only when you click OK that this calendar becomes the project calendar. All right, we talked about making adjustments to our calendar. So you go back and change working time on the project. You click on it and you look at exceptions and work weeks. Now the first thing you have to do, where we have already created a calendar, but we want to create some work exceptions. So that it's Carnival in Trinidad. So Carnival. So we click under exceptions. We're going to talk about Carnival. Carnival the 20th is Carnival Monday, and the 21st is Tuesday. And so those 2 are non-working days. So like if you go back, you would see the 20th, you have exception for Carnival, 21st exception for Carnival for James Project. However, if you go to Wednesday the 1st, or well, let's say Wednesday the 8th, you realize it's the standard time, 8 a.m. to 12, 1 to 5. We have only created so far 2 exceptions. Suppose on the 28th, you have, for instance, you have a family day. And nobody is working that day. You realize because you click on the 28th, when you come here, it's going to click also. So when you go to the 28th, it's a family day, it's a non-working day. Or how you can get more than 1 day is you can just hold it and bring it across, and then you will get start and finish date. So this is how you create exceptions. But what about if you want a half day? Like for instance, okay, Carnival Monday. Suppose on the Friday before Carnival, let's pick on that, you find that you're having a party, half day for party. All right, so you click on that. People want to go home. They may not want to work the whole day. And as you click on that, you will have the half day. You have the 17th entered here, but you go into details. So you have the 17 because you click on it, but you go into details. And here you can say whether it's non-working time or working time. If you put working time, the normal standard calendar would come, because we're still working on the standard 8 to 12, 1 to 5. But what you can do is take out the afternoon period and then click OK. So what you're going to have is an exception half day for party on the calendar. So that is how you create half days. All right, so those are how we create exceptions. But what about if you want to change the work week? Here you're going into work week tab. And suppose you click on the default on the work week tab and you go into details. And this will come. Suppose you want to not work on a Friday. Before you, so you say Friday. Now you have different things you can do. You can set it to default day, to default times, which is the normal time. You can set it to non-working time, or you can set these days to specific working time. But we are saying we are setting it to non-working time, so we're not working at all. And when you click, you realize Friday now, when you click on Friday, is a non-working day. Every Friday is a non-working day because you have clicked it. Now, how do you change working times? Suppose on Wednesday, okay, so we want to change the working time of Wednesdays. So instead of saying set to non-working, we can set it to these specific times. And we can say, for instance, we're working 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and we click it OK. So what we're going to have, you see, on these days, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. But on the normal days, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So those are how we can change both the times and the work days and things like that. The last thing we want to do is to set the project information. So we're going to File, and it will take us back to this dialog box, to this start screen. You go into Info, and you go across to Project Information. Here you can put the title. When you put the title here, it is going to appear inside. So that's how you set the title. You can set the subject, the author, the manager. The author could be yourself. The manager could be whoever is the project manager, the company, whichever company, what category. If it's a video production, it could be videos. What are some of the keywords? And you can write a little comment that says something about this project, and then you click OK. So you have set some of the project information, but you can also go into options. And in options, you can go to schedule. Here again, you can change the time. You have the start time, the normal start time, 8 to 5. It's 8 hours per day, 40 hours per week, 20 days per month. That's the standard. You can decide to show units. Well, we talk about units a little later on, so we leave it here. But what I would like you to do is to change this from manually schedule to auto schedule. So the duration is in days. We can leave those things for now, and we can go into display. You can decide what currency you want. Is it Trinidad and Tobago dollars or US dollars? Then you can go into save. I would always advise you to make sure that it's automatically saving your information. Then you can go into advanced. And if you have a rate, a payment rate, you can put it inside of here. Basically, you can click on the different things and you can customize. In general, you can look at the date format and see whether you're happy with it. Basically, what I've been saying, you can customize as you see fit. I trust this video has helped you. All right. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe and meet me in another video. Goodbye.